Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
We're going to tackle poor decision making today. Let's call it that.
Okay. Some life lessons, it sounds like.
The bad news for Disney and Star Wars, they just can't stop it. Honestly. We all heard how Patty Jenkins and Kevin Feige are no longer making Star Wars movies. We were told they were making Star Wars movies. Everyone's like, making Star Wars, woo! And now they're not making Star Wars movies at all.
To interject for a second, I think the most frustrating part about that is you hear about it for years before it gets canceled.
We hear that Taika Waititi's movie is still moving forward. We now hear he wants to also star in it, which...
Oh boy.
I know.
My name's Krog. I'm made of lightsabers.
He's not a bad director. He's just, in my head, he's fallen into this trap where he's so over the top that he's making live action cartoons.
I haven't seen all his movies, so I cannot say this with absolute certainty, so don't come after me, but I feel like when I watch one of his movies, I'm watching the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, loved Thor Ragnarok. Thor Love and Thunder just took what that did and jumped off the deep end so hard that I was like not in love with it at all.
I feel like he has a very, like I said, it's very eccentric. It's very colorful and strange and weird and fun.
Which could work.
I'm not saying they're bad movies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure how that worked. And I know there will be people, Star Wars is meant to be fun and all the, yeah, sure. We can argue that. But I'm not sure how it works. Especially considering we have this nice long drought of Star Wars movies right now where even Bob Iger said that first one back has to be something really special.
Well, and it won't be his.
Well, whose will it be? It won't be Patty Jenkins or Kevin Feige.
No, the one that Damon Lindelof is writing. His
Supposedly.
is apparently written.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah, apparently the script is written, and I've heard rumors now that cast members are starting to be attached.
Wow.
So that one is the one Bob Iger, he has guaranteed us a movie, December 2025.
6 years after the previous one.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And it seems like that's going to be the movie.
Patty Jenkins was going to be the next movie, right? Rogue Squadron was set in stone. It's going to be, I think it was 2023, actually. I think it was supposed to be this year. It's coming out. Yeah, but I mean, that's the frustrating part is you hear it announced. We actually had a name behind it. We had a concept, all of that behind it. And then it's like a couple of years later, it's like, yeah, about that.
Well,
not happening.
Disney's been talking about how Disney Plus hasn't been performing up to their, making money, up to their high expectations or been as profitable or maybe profitable at all yet. So the news about the Acolyte now, do they really need more problems?
No.
We know the Acolyte is coming next year.
It's filming, right?
Yeah, it's filming right now. It's supposed to be done, as far as I've heard, it is supposed to be done filming in April. Next year, the only projects that we know are coming are Acolyte and Andor.
The A's.
The A team. But now we're getting news that they're getting sued because of the Acolyte. On Disney's end, they announced, of course, as miscommunication.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Whereas on Kieran McCarthy's end, it's like gross negligence.
Yeah, I've heard about this, but
Yes, Disney has not fully issued any comments yet, so most of this is coming from one-sided view.
The lawyers tell them to shh.
Because they're just going to slip her some money under the table and hopefully it'll be enough.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's the Disney way.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
So,
maybe not. I don't know.
Lucasfilm was slapped with a lawsuit by Karen McCarthy. She apparently signed on as a producer for The Acolyte. Then she was terminated after like a few weeks of work. Apparently she says it was wrongful termination. We have no idea 100% what that was. But there are some legal documents that Deadline got a hold of. McCarthy was in high demand last year. She was pursued by both Lucasfilm for The Acolyte and Apple TV for the Colin Farrell series Sugar. She decided to take up with The Acolyte after getting, more information on the series.
Sure.
She apparently has the whole rundown for season 1 and beyond because it's apparently going to be a multi-season show.
She should leak that.
She did. It was in those court documents that she was given.
Well, no, but she should leak what the plot details. Not,
Well, even if they won't honor their agreement, they'll sue her if she doesn't honor hers.
I know.
McCarthy claims that she and Lucasfilm had agreed upon a broad strokes agreement as soon as she got to work on the series. However, 2 weeks later, Lucasfilm stated they wanted out of the deal. By then, McCarthy had now lost out on the lucrative opportunity to work with Apple. So taking Acolyte cost her the other job,
and then
they dumped her.
What is up with them firing directors all the time?
Yeah. She was supposed to be a producer on this series.
Oh, producer even.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we heard about someone being hired and fired? Like, what is... And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is the only studio. Lucasfilm is the only company that has problems behind the scenes. They all do, right?
Right.
And I don't know if it's just that a spotlight gets shined on it, or I noticed the spotlight because I cover Star Wars. But how many times have we heard about somebody being hired and fired, a project just never coming to fruition? It just seems constant with Disney and Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Apparently she, according to, of course, her documents, she behaved kind of like an adult after it and missed out on the opportunity. Understand things can end up like this in Hollywood. So she approached Lucasfilm for the compensation she was owed for the work she did do for those couple of weeks.
Fair enough, yeah.
The studio denied having made an agreement with McCarthy. Furthermore, she was offered $5,000 as pay for a single day's work, which she rejected for being insulting.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind that $5,000 single day work job. I don't think
a
lot of us would be okay
nice,
with that. Could take the rest of the year off. No, I'm just kidding.
But that's probably not what they apparently broad stroke agreed upon. So now she's taken Lucasfilm to court for their bad faith denial towards the agreement. I mean, there's no idea exactly what kind of specific monetary damages have gone through.
Probably millions, right?
She lost out
at least
on
hundreds of
millions
thousands, right?
From not going through with Lucasfilm and from losing out on Apple. I mean, she lost millions, and now she has to put her name out there because she didn't want to. She went to them to ask for compensation, and they denied her. Now she has to go forward with this claim in this lawsuit. She didn't want this kind of publicity. She doesn't want to be known as that director, that producer who's going to sue you.
You don't want to be known as difficult. No one else is going to hire you.
No.
So why did she get fired?
No one knows. Even her attorney has referred to this as a last resort after this bizarre and unfounded termination, is what they called it.
How much in compensation did she... I mean, what... There's so many details we obviously don't have. Like, what was she initially going to get paid? What was Apple going to pay her? What was the compensation supposed to be in case she got fired? I mean, what are the details here? But it still seems shady. I mean, yes, $5,000 to many of us, quite a bit of money. But that's kind of insulting when you know you've been hired for probably millions, at least, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, oh yeah, you worked for a day, here's $5,000, go home and leave us alone.
Yeah. It is kind of insulting, especially to somebody who works in the business of her caliber. She's done good work. I
mean, was it gross negligence on her part? Did she come... I mean, I'm not saying...
We don't know. Lucasfilm has not responded.
I mean, if she came up, drunk on the set or something and was acting crazy and they fired her on the spot, yeah. But I mean, I'm assuming that didn't happen, that it was something else. But what is it? Like, what is the deal with Lucasfilm? That we just have all these problems all the time.
I don't know. I mean, she signed on April 11th, I think they said, 2022, and then was dismissed 2 weeks later. She says there was no explanation, no reason, no justification. They just wanted out of the deal.
How does that happen? Like,
I don't know. Now the Apple offer was gone. So she's got neither deal. And it sounds horrible, but they kind of screwed her out of another job.
Well, yeah. Well, that sucks. Like, you get 2 job offers, you take one and they fire you the next day and the other one's gone. Like, that sucks.
Well, she wanted compensation for the 2 weeks of work she did.
Oh, so she worked more than
Yeah, she was fired after 2 weeks.
But did she work, or she hired and then...
I don't know. I don't know how their deals work. It might be you get paid per day the moment you sign the contract. I have no idea.
I'd imagine these contracts are gone through by lawyers, her lawyer. Like, there's gotta... Isn't there some kind of... I don't know. It seems so strange to me. It just seems so odd. I mean, here's $5,000. Thanks for the work and goodbye.
Yeah, but that was only a single day, and she wanted payment for the full time. And when she rejected that, they said, okay, I guess you don't want anything, and you're done.
Well, I mean, the full time. See, what's the contract say?
That's the problem. We have no idea what their agreement was. The only ones who know that right now are the lawyers. Yeah. And of course, the lawyers aren't putting that all out there right now.
Well, no, yeah.
But like I said, the fact that she's willing to put her reputation on the line means
against
that
Disney?
I believe that maybe she could be in the right. I'm not a lawyer, though.
No.
Put that right out there. I am not a lawyer. This is my opinion. And it sounds to me that she may have been wronged, allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. I gotta throw that out there.
You have to throw that word in there, because then
it just clears everything. Like, allegedly that happened.
Because I'm not sitting in there reading the court documents.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm trying to speculate on things that allegedly happened.
But continuing on in the vein of the Acolyte, there have been some interesting story updates. We're going into the...
Were they leaked by anybody? Just
We're
kidding.
moving a little bit into
Allegedly.
the rumor mill here. So if you don't want any rumors for the Acolyte, now's your chance to click away. All right, so we know this is going to be set during the High Republic era. It's supposed to be set, what, they said like 50 years before
like
the Phantom Menace?
Yeah. The end of the High Republic era.
Yes, the end of the High Republic. It's going to be a mystery thriller with a Jedi and their Padawan student investigating shadowy secrets, emerging dark side powers, blah, blah, blah. It's also said to be drawing
I'm really
on
curious about that blah, blah, blah
video
part.
games and novels from the franchise.
I would hope so.
They're saying even possibly some, like, expanded universe.
Whoa, wait, what?
Yes.
Plagueis novel?
Who
Please,
knows?
and don't screw it up, because if you are, then don't.
Dun. And Leslie Headland has pointed specifically to the Phantom Menace as part of their influence.
Sure.
Which is where Plagueis happens to be mentioned.
He's mentioned in Revenge of the Sith, but he's still kind of doing his thing.
It's all the same to them. They don't
Probably, yeah.
The series is supposed to be told from the Sith perspective, offering a new insight into some villains of the Star Wars universe. Could be very refreshing.
Could be.
Mm-hmm. But here are the new rumors. First off, Mandala Stenberg is supposed to be playing twins.
Okay.
Both of whom are Sith in origin. One of them is taken by the Jedi, and the other one is kind of more becomes a dark side
Sith
assassin.
in origin?
Sith in origin. The twins were born on a witch world.
What do we do with all the witches?
That was attacked by the Jedi, who took one of the twins and raised her as a youngling.
Dathomir having another bad day?
Dathomir's a lot of bad days.
Yeah, they get wiped out all the time. They just come back.
There is no good day on Dathomir.
No, could be other witches, of course, but
it could be. We don't know exactly what was roaming around the
they're
galaxy.
they're not the only witches in the galaxy, right?
Exactly.
I'm talking about the Night Sisters, of course.
And a witch world might just mean maybe it's not Dathomir. Maybe they had more than one planet at one time.
Sure.
Maybe the High Republic didn't like them expanding and attacked them to kind of put them back on one planet.
Maybe.
Either way, bad day for Dathomir.
Allegedly.
Yes. We know Jung-jae is playing a Jedi Master. The assassin sister supposedly plans to kill Carrie-Anne Moss's character, who is also a Jedi Master that is known for fighting without a lightsaber.
Wait, Trinity?
Yeah, Trinity is supposed to be... Yeah.
Did I hear this?
Yes, we've gone over this.
Wow.
She's
Too
supposed
much
to be
news
playing
from
a
Naboo, I
Jedi
guess.
Master who likes to fight without a lightsaber.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. She likes to punch and kick or throw stuff with the Force?
Maybe. I don't know what she does.
All of the above?
All of the above.
That's fine. She's anti-lightsaber.
So those are the new rumors. What's interesting is the fact that there are twins. Well, we know in the MMO, Star Wars, Old Republic.
Yeah.
There's a set of twin boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure there's other, Tiplar and Tiplee.
Tiplar, yeah.
And they got to stay together.
But
Explain that one to me.
I'm very curious about which expanded universe sources are they digging into for these?
Plagueis novel, and they're not going to screw it up.
Let's hope.
I mean, there's not much in that time period from the EU. That's about it,
but
honestly.
They can draw information
from
others and just
earlier,
alter the time period.
Darth Bane trilogy, even further back.
They can borrow from
just like
concepts and ideas and characters and just transplant them.
There's a lot you could take from. Just don't screw it up.
And lastly, we heard that the Acolyte is doing some filming in Portugal on an island in a forest called Fanal Forest. It's maybe more than just a rumor because the forest is now issued it's going to be closed for like 3 days in March.
How do you close a forest?
You just close it.
Do the animals not to get to come in either? Or...
But,
sorry, guys. You have to forage somewhere else for food.
But it's nice because that means another on-site location, and from what I've seen, the forest is beautiful, so it could be used for some sort of a big site. Cool. Not just some, passing through. Why would you close down a hole?
Close the forest, just have them walk through for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just do that on the old volume, right?
I'm happy when they're on-site. I've heard that the Acolyte has been traveling a lot to do their show.
Sounds like they're pouring a chunk of money into this.
Which maybe they're taking some hints from Andor?
It's because it's a entirely new thing. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It gets me excited to know they're willing to pour money into something that is unproven, essentially.
Well, if they plan on making this a multi-season show, and Disney with their financial situations right now, and talk about how we don't want to lose quality, but we're doing cutbacks.
Yeah, explain that to me.
They're pouring some money into this show to do all these on-location things. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the we're gonna cut back but keep the quality. Generally doesn't work that way.
It's generally a hard thing to do.
Yeah. But no, I'm eager to see what the Acolyte becomes, especially if you're talking about actually bringing in EU concepts from the time period. Or again, we can go back to Darth Bane. We can go back earlier than Darth Bane. Hell, let's do some real cool Sith stuff. Just again, do not screw it up. I know you laugh. You laugh because you know what happens when they do. You have to deal with me complaining.
Yes, and that's my own.
That's worse
personal
than
joy.
them screwing it up for you. Anyway, I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. Everything from Disney being sued to what you think the Acolyte might be, and are you excited about it? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.